Have you ever found yourself sitting alone in the afternoon, maybe with a cup of tea, and thinking about how much life has changed? The kids are grown, they've got their own busy lives, and the house is a lot quieter than it used to be. Sometimes it's peaceful, but other times, that quiet can feel a little too loud. Here's the truth nobody really tells us: as we get older, we can't put all our happiness, health, and peace of mind in the hands of family, no matter how much they love us. Not because they don't care, but because life pulls everyone in different directions. And if we're depending only on their visits, their calls, or their attention to feel fulfilled, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. That's why I want to talk to you today about 5 things we can, and should, rely on for ourselves, things that can keep us strong, joyful, and at peace, no matter what's going on around us. These aren't complicated or expensive, and they're not out of reach for anyone. They're habits, choices, and mindsets that put you back in the driver's seat of your own life. Let's start with one that makes all the difference: finding purpose that's yours alone. This isn't about work or about keeping busy just to pass the time. It's about having something that gets you out of bed in the morning with a little spark in your heart. For some, that purpose might be tending to a garden, watching something grow under your care. For others, it might be volunteering, helping at the library, or even mentoring younger people in your community. The key is that it's something you've chosen because it matters to you, not because anyone else expects it of you. When you have that kind of purpose, the days feel fuller, and you stop watching the clock, waiting for someone else to bring you joy. You start creating it yourself. The second thing we need to rely on is our own circle of friends and connections outside of family. This doesn't mean replacing family or loving them any less. It simply means widening your world. Friends your own age, neighbors, or even people you meet through hobbies can become an incredible source of companionship. Think about it. Friends are the ones who will go out for coffee just because, who understand the little aches and pains without making a big fuss, who laugh with you about the small things. They're not tied to you by obligation, they choose to be there. And that choice makes the relationship feel lighter, more joyful. I know for some people, making new friends after 60 can feel intimidating. But the truth is, most people are craving connection just as much as you are. A smile at the grocery store, a short chat at a community class, or even joining a book club, these are small openings that can lead to real, lasting friendships. And here's the magic part: when you have your own network, you stop feeling like you're waiting for family to fill that social space in your life. Instead, you're sharing it with people who are happy to share theirs with you. The third thing, and this one's big, is taking ownership of your physical health in ways that feel good to you. I'm not talking about becoming a gym rat or forcing yourself into an exercise routine you dread. I mean finding movement, food, and rest habits that make your body feel like it can still carry you through life without too much protest. Maybe that's a morning walk where you can breathe in fresh air and watch the world wake up. Maybe it's dancing in your living room to music you love. Or maybe it's just stretching while you watch your favorite show. When you care for your body this way, you're not only staying independent longer, you're also building confidence. You're telling yourself, I'm still capable. I can still do this. And that feeling seeps into every other part of your life. You're not waiting for someone else to take care of you because you're already taking care of yourself. That's powerful. And something else happens when you commit to your own health: your mood lifts. Moving your body releases those feel-good chemicals that fight off stress and sadness. Eating well gives you energy to do the things you enjoy. Sleeping enough clears your mind so you can think sharper and feel calmer. All of this adds up to a sense of peace that no one else can hand you. It comes from within, and once you have it, no one can take it away. I've seen too many people in our stage of life put their health in the "I'll think about it later" category, only to find that later comes faster than they expected. But here's the good news: it's never too late to start. The smallest steps, drinking more water, adding a little walk to your day, swapping one sugary snack for a piece of fruit, can snowball into big changes over time. And the best part? You're doing it for you, not because a doctor told you or a family member nagged you. Now, we've already talked about having a personal purpose, building your own social circle, and taking ownership of your health. All 3 of these give you a foundation that no one else controls. But there's more, because happiness, health, and peace are like a three-legged stool. You need all the legs to be steady. Watching and feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. There's another thing we need to lean on, and it might surprise you, because it's not something you can hold in your hands. It's your mind. More specifically, keeping your mind active, curious, and challenged. We often hear about staying young at heart, but staying young in the mind is just as important, maybe even more so. When the mind slows down, the rest of life starts to feel smaller, narrower, and a little dull. But when you keep it engaged, it's like opening the curtains to let the sunlight in. You suddenly see more, feel more, and live more. That doesn't mean you need to be solving complicated math problems or going back to school for another degree, unless you want to, of course. It can be as simple as learning a new recipe, tackling a crossword puzzle, or even picking up a skill you've always been curious about but never had time to try. Maybe that's learning to play the piano, speaking a few phrases in another language, or experimenting with photography on your phone. Every time you challenge your brain in a new way, you're not only keeping it sharp, you're also reminding yourself that growth doesn't have an age limit. And here's the secret: curiosity is contagious. When you stay interested in the world, people stay interested in you. Conversations become richer because you have fresh stories to tell, new ideas to share, and questions to ask. That's a big part of feeling connected, even when family isn't around as often as you'd like. You stop feeling like you're waiting for something to happen because you're already making it happen yourself. Now, keeping the mind active is powerful, but there's another source of strength we often overlook, and that's financial independence, even in small ways. Money isn't everything, but let's be honest, it does buy a certain kind of peace of mind. It's not about being wealthy, it's about knowing you can make choices without always depending on someone else's approval, resources, or generosity. I've seen it so many times. When someone feels financially trapped, they start feeling emotionally trapped too. It's like a shadow over everything. But when you have even a modest level of control over your own finances, whether that's a pension, savings, a small income from part-time work, or simply smart budgeting, you gain a kind of quiet confidence. You know you can decide what you eat, where you go, or how you spend your time without needing to ask or explain. That freedom is priceless. And if you're thinking, it's too late for me to change my financial picture, I want you to know it's never too late to make it better than it is right now. You can start small. Maybe that means cutting one unnecessary expense, finding a hobby that could earn a little extra, or even selling things you no longer use. Sometimes, it's just about organizing what you have so you can see the bigger picture clearly. That clarity alone can lift a huge weight off your shoulders. Financial independence isn't only about numbers, it's about dignity. It allows you to give gifts without worrying, to treat yourself without guilt, and to contribute to causes you care about. It means you're participating in life, not just watching it pass by while waiting for help. That feeling, that self-reliance, becomes a quiet source of happiness that you carry everywhere you go. When you think about it, these two, an active mind and financial independence, go hand in hand with what we've already talked about. They're all ways of taking back the steering wheel of your own life. You're building a life that doesn't fall apart if someone cancels a visit or forgets to call, because you've got your own full, rich world to live in. There's one last thing we need to talk about, and it might be the most important of them all: emotional resilience. This is that inner strength that allows you to face change, loss, and uncertainty without losing yourself in the process. Life after 60, 70, or even 80 is filled with transitions. People move away, loved ones pass on, routines shift, and the world seems to change faster than we can keep up. Without emotional resilience, those changes can feel like they're chipping away at your happiness. But with it, you can bend without breaking. Resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about feeling what you feel, whether that's sadness, frustration, or even fear, and then choosing not to stay stuck there. It's learning how to find small lights, even in the darker days. Sometimes that means talking to a friend or counselor, sometimes it's journaling, and sometimes it's as simple as stepping outside, breathing in the fresh air, and reminding yourself that this moment, like every other, will pass. I've met people in their 70s and 80s who carry an incredible calmness, even after going through loss or disappointment. When I ask them their secret, it's almost always the same. They've learned to let go of what they can't control and focus on what they can. That doesn't mean they don't grieve or get upset. It means they choose to put their energy toward things that nourish them rather than drain them. One practical way to build emotional resilience is to create a set of small, reliable joys. These are things you can turn to no matter what's going on. It could be a morning walk, a favorite piece of music, a short phone call to someone who makes you laugh, or even a personal ritual like brewing a perfect cup of tea. These little anchors keep you steady when life feels shaky. Over time, they remind you that peace is something you can cultivate, not something you have to wait for someone else to give you. When you combine emotional resilience with the other things we've talked about, good health habits, an active mind, financial independence, you start to see a pattern. You're building a foundation that doesn't rely on someone else to keep it standing. It's not that you don't love your family or that you want to push them away. It's that your happiness, your health, and your peace aren't left in their hands. They're safe in yours. This shift is powerful. It means when your children or grandchildren do visit, you're not waiting with a list of unspoken needs or hidden disappointments. You're simply happy to see them because your life is already full. And that fullness makes you more enjoyable to be around. You're not just the parent or grandparent who needs something, you're the person who still has interesting stories, ideas, and joy to share. The truth is, relying less on family for happiness doesn't make you lonely. It actually makes you more open to deeper, more genuine connections with friends, neighbors, and even strangers who might become part of your circle. It allows you to live with more freedom, more spontaneity, and more joy, because you're not waiting for someone else to start the clock on your day. So here's the takeaway: you deserve a life that feels rich, even when you're sitting in a quiet room alone. You deserve to wake up with things you're excited to do, people you're looking forward to talking to, and goals, big or small, that keep you moving forward. None of that depends on someone knocking on your door. It depends on you deciding that your happiness, your health, and your peace of mind are worth investing in. If any of this has resonated with you, I want you to remember that it's never too late to start. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start with one thing, one small choice to invest in yourself today, and let the momentum build from there. Every step you take toward independence is a step toward more freedom, more dignity, and more joy. And if you've already been living this way, I hope you feel proud, because it's not always easy to choose yourself without guilt. But it's one of the greatest gifts you can give to both yourself and the people you love. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you've enjoyed this conversation, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Tell me which of these ideas you're already practicing, or which one you want to start with. And if you found this helpful, please give this video a like so it can reach more people who might need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more conversations like this, about living fully, aging gracefully, and finding joy at every stage of life. Because no matter how many candles are on your cake, there's always more life to be lived. Here's to you, to your independence, and to building a life you love at any age.